start off with some short quizzes. All right. What's the purpose, for us to identify a trap? Eric, what do you think the purpose is for us to have a trap?
To have a trap, I think number one is for us to know where the price will reaction from, so we know approximately where is the area of interest that we may be able to take a trade.
Yes, that's correct. The whole the other reason why this is so important is because throughout the first 1.5 weeks, we are going to go into a lot of educational stuff, and I want you guys to really understand the why behind why some of those stuff are important, instead of just using drawing lines and memorizing the type of traps, that kind of thing. So the reason behind why we need a trap is just so we have a level. Okay, that level becomes the area we do our business at. Whether we are trying to, we know this level is gonna give us a reaction, and that reaction potentially will give us some profit. That's basically it. Okay. So in order for a trap to happen, yesterday we have gone through a few scenarios. Today we're gonna do a lot more practice. In order for a trap to happen, what's the prerequisite for a trap to happen? Maya.
I'll say we need to take out the last guy we started at first.
Yes, right. That's the most important thing. Make sure to kill the last guy. Okay. Now, Ian, why do you think we have to kill the last guy first before considering it a trap?
We have to kill it in order to reach it, to be in loss. The guy who started it, to be in loss.
Yeah. So let's say the last guy was in the sell side. When he got killed, whether or not he have a stop loss in, we know he's under pressure. The sell is not really working out. He's looking to get out, basically. All right, so that's why the trap only happens after we have a kill. Right? So once we know when, okay, this is pretty much when, right? When does a trap happen? So the next question we would want to ask ourselves is, where are we gonna be prepared to take part in any kind of a reaction we have? So where would that be, Jay?
It depends on what happens as that last guy gets taken out.
All right. Yep. So, well, generally speaking, what would that be? I'm looking for
usually around like an SNR area.
Usually an SNR area, but the term I want you to use is where the last attempts were. All right. So I think you're thinking along the same lines. So generally where the attempts were is where we are going to be positioning ourselves to take any kind of a trade-off, that kind of area.
Yep.
All right. So far, anyone lost? Just in terms of the educational piece, all this makes sense, right? Okay, stop me if you guys have any questions.
Yes. Yeah.
So say we have this. Do we have a trap form? Ian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have it at the SNR. Okay.
Okay, so where would you want to take your trade?
Okay. I'll take the trade from here. I expect it to come here and blast.
All right. Here it should blast because what's the main reason for it to blast?
Because the last guy who started it is here. Because of this. Yeah, and this guy started from an SNR from here. So this is the trap area.
All right. So this is the last guy, right? And then he tried to sell here, right? When he got killed or when he's under pressure for the sell side, he wants to get out really quickly. Here, taking the buy to offset his sell position, right?
Yeah,
That's why the
here,
buy.
here if, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have the last guy who started it here. And because of this, we have another guy who started it here. Is the same guy or not? Could be the same guy.
Here, is
Yes.
this a new guy? Do you think it's a new guy? What defines a guy who started?
The one which comes with volume and aggressively from here, for example, from here.
No,
and then,
no volume for now.
okay,
MPA,
which comes aggressively, so which with the large candles. Yeah,
no.
down.
MPA
Bridge.
first lesson, MPA 1.0 first lesson. How do we have a new guy who started?
The bridge. You need to
The bridge and the new lower low here.
Yeah, a breach and a new lower low, right?
Yes.
Do we have a new lower low from this?
No.
No, right? If there's no lower low here, then this is your guy that has to be killed. This is just viewed as an attempt from the sell side that failed.
Okay. Thank you very much for clarification.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important.
So it's a guy who started it when it makes a new lower lower, higher high.
Yes.
If
Yes.
does not make it, is trapped. Okay.
Yes. The reason why that's so important to understand is because if you have this kind of situation and you view this as your last guy who started, right? When you get this, you might think a trap has formed and you might be looking for a release from here. And that could fail because he is still alive and this is not really a new guy. That's why it's important to understand that fact.
Okay. So here it is two-sided.
Yeah, here is two-sided.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys gone through ITP or if you guys are in the elite long enough, you guys have probably heard the word set one, set two, that kind of thing, right? So set one, set two, basically is what we have here, right? So this could be one set, this could be another set. That's why it's really important not to jump ahead and think the buys can happen from here because it could be a new push down. Yeah, so there are elements where we're using set one, set two, reformation test one, test two, stuff like that, but it's all revolving around the same principle. Right?
Okay.
But does it make sense for you, Ion? I just want to make sure.
Yes, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Jay, why don't you go ahead and draw out type C trap?
Sure.
And just comment on what's happening each piece along the way.
All right. So I guess I'll do it for a downtrend.
Sure.
So it's coming down. How many people know that it's a sell yet? Only a couple people. Around here, people start to get in on the sells because we have lower lows, lower highs. And then if that last guy gets completely taken out, then people on the lower time frame would try to sell off that last SNR. And then once it comes back down to that level, it'll release.
Yes, that's right. These areas we are assuming that previously or on lower time frame where we cannot really see on this time frame, where people were trying to sell there. All right. And preferably, it's coming from a bigger uptrend, that kind of thing. But that's besides the point. It's good. It's good. Maya, why don't you go ahead and draw type B and comment on each piece along the way. Let's go for an uptrend, maybe.
All right, I'll try.
All right.
All right, there's our SNR, and this is a trap area. We'll be looking for a sell there.
All right. And the reason for this sell is because these are the guys who are still buying, right? They all tried to buy and then they got failed. They want to release, get out of their position to get up. Okay. So far, these are the simplest one. Eric, do you have any question for any of these or any confirmation?
No questions. Yeah, that will look good.
All right. So the trickiest one that we had was something like this, right? This is the only one that always throw people off. Can I buy this or not? Right? Just based on what we are talking about yesterday, this is not really a trap. Can it work? It can. Sometimes it will work. But for now, just in terms of a trap and release, that's not really a trap or a release. Okay, so in the next couple of days, when we use other tools together with this kind of technical analysis, then we will know when exactly can we try and buy. And generally speaking, we want to be extra careful doing these types of buys. Because set 1, set 2, that kind of thing, it could still collapse. All right, so besides these kind of releases, what other releases do we have besides the trending one?
We have a range.
Range, right? So range, why do we at least need a 24-hour range? Or at least multiple session?
We need enough people who made a mistake so that when it comes to release, it's powerful enough because so many people, they need to get up.
Yeah. So enough people to think it's a sell before making the mistake. So enough people to think it's a sell, enough people to think it's a sell when they got, caught off guard, price release from here. Okay, so this piece is really important. So if you guys see any live examples, we'll go into live examples later on, but if you guys see any live examples on your own and if anything seems confusing, please ask me, because going forward, we are gonna layer a lot of different stuff onto this piece. Okay, once again, here we are all trying to identify levels to trade off, right? Usually here, this would be our 5 minute. Here, this would be our 5 minute to look for a retest. Not this one, retest to go. Okay, so the most important piece we covered so far is identifying a level and, when exactly to look at them to trade off. So yesterday, you guys were asking, what exactly am I looking for in the live market? The first thing you guys want to look for is levels. And this is how you guys want to identify levels. And then we have a few more, a little bit more trickier examples, but so far these are the most simplistic ones. Okay. All right. So today I'm not gonna go over new materials. What we are gonna do is we're gonna go over the live market to spot as many examples as we can. Everyone is gonna take turn to try and read the market, and then we'll do it from there. Okay. Yeah, I guess if you guys were looking at the market, you guys would see multiple traps on a lot of Aussie pairs and New Zealand pairs. We'll have a look at them. Before we begin, anyone want to look at any particular chart where they see something on the live market where it's aligned with what we have learned so far? Ian, Jay, Maya, William.
I currently have a trade running on the pound, which is based on yesterday. Hour and 5 minutes.
Pound cat?
Pound dollar.
Pound dollar. All right. Yep. I can understand. To remove the volume before you guys start looking at the volumes and asking me questions about that. All right, so let's do this. All right. In this uptrend, all right, walk me through, Maya, how you would look at the uptrend, where the trap forms, and where a release could be.
Okay, I was looking at this. That was the last guy that started it. And
Okay.
he got taken out. And
Right.
this is the expected area to be reacting from. And I got in, yeah, for this low at least. But I think it might come down to here.
Okay, it's good. Let's take it one step back. This is the new guy, right? He pushed up. What happens after that?
There's a bit of a retracement, but
All right.
no high. So he tried once more, couldn't
Okay.
make a high. So that was the last attempt to go up.
Yeah.
So we might come back to this SNR possibly then in that case.
Yeah.
So it might still come up here before it goes down.
Yeah. So it's very important to, make sure you read everything very slowly, because if this is the last attempt, we still haven't got up towards that area for a release. Now, I know some traders they wouldn't look at this as one line. They would look at the entire zone like that. But sometimes I try to be a little bit more strict on where I want my release to be, because at the end of the day, we're not really trading off. We are making discretionary decision. So I want to be as precise as I can, because we are on the 60-minute. On the 5, this piece is very, very big on the 5-minute time frame. So generally speaking, you want to be a little bit more careful. But it's a good idea. Guy got taken out, last attempt. This is the area you're looking for. Slow down towards that area. We're just not sure yet if that's the area it wants to use, but let's see. All right. Anyone have any question for this particular example?
Yeah. So for this one, then is it encouraged to take this kind of trade, or we should wait a little bit longer to see if the price will pull a little bit deeper into the area that we wanted?
There are a few things we're gonna use, but just something here to let you guys know is I generally would want price to come deeper.
Right. Okay. And regarding the zone, yeah, Lucas, you draw the zone just now, but yeah, over there. But when we look at zone, is it that we more sort of looking at the zone here instead? Because that's basically the last attempt, and people could buy from there, or there are people could buy from there. So basically, that zone, the price could come back. Let's say. Somewhere here and then drop.
Yeah, in terms of zone, yeah, I would put the lowest end of the zone here.
Yeah.
Highest end of the zone here.
Yeah. So that
something like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Should not come any higher than this if
Yeah.
my assumption of buyers are trapped is correct. If it does hold up there, you know, there could be people trapped here. I'm not sure. But let's just say if it's a real trap up there, our whole idea is to make sure buyers trap, they want to get out, sellers want to come back. If price holds up there, I don't think the sells are going to work anymore. The same question Lila was asking yesterday.
Thank you.
All right, it's a good one. All right, Jay, this piece here is interesting. Now, from here towards here, try reading it slowly and see if there's any kind of trap.
All right, so bars go up.
All right.
Can you see the line, or is it too light?
I see it. Everyone else see it?
Yeah.
All right, so the bars refresh. Looks like the overall thing's a range. Pretty sure it's maybe 24 hours. So once it breaks, this could be a good release. So it breaks, it reacts, and then it goes up.
Okay, slow down
This could
there.
also be a range. All
Here,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so where's your last guy from here to here?
Oh, okay, I was reading in a larger sense. All right, so yeah, these buyers here, they got a nice discount. Goes up, reacts off the edge of that range. They have a pretty good discount. Then it goes up, and then that last guy got completely reverse. So we have a C type, and then it reacts. The whole thing refreshes, and then it goes up.
All right, good. So this piece here, you know, is important because you really want to read the details here. Now here it's just one piece, right? There's not too much to read. All of this all just belong to this same guy, right? But here, when things, you know, sort of chops into little pieces, you want to be a little bit more careful of what they're actually doing. Like that, right? So you're saying this got killed. What's this? This could be a C. I don't know. If they are still holding in their buyer's area, this could be maybe a B. Not sure. But the whole point is this guy looks pretty much killed, right? So we became a seller from here because buyer's territory shifts and sells comes in, right? What happens after that?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
All right, so whether this is a C or a B, I would say the sellers are around.
Yep.
They come down lower and lower, and then we have another C from the sell side, and then the buyers test it, and then it goes up.
Okay. From there, do we have a trap?
If these were sellers, this could be a probe, but if it wasn't, I think it could be a trap.
All right, then
That was a
where,
lower low.
if these are sellers, let's assume that they are sellers, where would the release be?
Right at this SNR.
No, when this cell got killed, right? When he got killed, we
Oh,
created,
I see.
yeah.
So I would say the release would be here because it's in A.
Right? So it didn't really came back to the same area to retest to launch. But this area holds importance. Right? It will cause some type of reaction.
Yep.
Right? That's why we have this kind of reaction right now. Now, okay, before I move on, does this make sense for everyone? Like how this piece here, there's not too much to read. All of this is just a pullback for one guy, but here there's multiple guys here. And then we became a seller and then got killed. Hence, there's a release zone here. That piece, everyone follows?
Yep.
Yep. Remember yesterday, Maya had a question. We were all looking at, I forgot which pair it was, but something like this, and then we broken down, and then we held a little bit, and then we continued moving down, and then we shifted into, say, buyer's territory, like that. And then we were contemplating if we can do a buy from there or there, and then the buys continue. But we have stuff on the left that could mess with us, right? And then I was saying, those kind of area, because the trend has transitioned, I'm not sure if that area is going to cause me any kind of problem, because my trend has transitioned. Why would these areas still give me a huge problem? It might give me a pullback, slow pullback, but it shouldn't be a huge problem. That all depends on a broader perspective, what we are in. Let's say if we are in a big uptrend, right, on a very, very big scale, this buy here wouldn't be a big problem. But if we are overall in a sell like that, then the buys here could have some issues. Okay. So this one is really interesting. Let's have a look at it again by the end of the week. So with more knowledge behind you guys' back, you guys should be able to figure out how to approach stuff like this.
Can I ask one more question, Lucas?
Yeah.
Just regarding this, I mean, is it right to say that we sort of forming a
Channel.
Yeah, could be a channel, and we can get a reaction from there?
Yeah. The thing about traps and release area is the release area. If it's a good release area, it's always gonna give you some sort of reaction. Everyone has to understand this piece. If it's a good release area, it's gonna give some sort of reaction. But how far the reaction is gonna be, that's another piece of story we have to understand. So let's just assume that this is a channel. We know for sure that this zone is gonna give us some type of reaction. We are just unsure if this trade is good enough for the reaction to give us 1R, 2R, 3R, or if our entry is around here, has the reaction already happened and it's the end of the reaction? I'm not sure. That kind of thing. So to know when we can hold on to the trade a little bit longer, we have to piece other stuff to the equation. But just in terms of having a reaction, yes, it's gonna have a reaction. Yep. Yeah, I think we are going a little bit into more advanced stuff, but just based on what we learned yesterday, yes, this is a kill. Yes, this is a attempt. This is a release. That's correct. Here, this is a little bit more trickier because we want to read everything. This is a kill, all right? This is a release. Right? Both of them are good. Although we can see overall this is an uptrend, we have invited a lot more buyers coming in, If they are truly trapped up here, this is gonna be, they're gonna release a lot more money. Here, although we just have one swing of sells coming in, not much people think it's a sell side. The counter argument for this particular release area is the fact that we are overall in an uptrend, just based on this view. So people may still think it could work for the buy. Yeah. Or if you look at it differently, this thing could be a big range, that kind of thing. Okay. Any questions so far for this one?
Here the trend on the higher time frame has more priority. Also in judging where the good trap is or not.
Generally, you mean just on this piece alone, or going to the 240 or daily?
What we see here, it's an uptrend. It's still an uptrend.
Yeah.
From my point of view.
Yeah. And then yeah. And
here we can continue the uptrend because we have this level here.
Yep.
This level here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it could launch from here, also from here. Up. I don't know.
From here? There's nothing here. What's this level?
Yeah, you are right. Yes. Okay. But we have a lot of levels here. If the downtrend goes down, okay, we have here a range, something like this, where a lot of people could be trapped here, and it could react into the at least at this level. So it can come till here and launch again, or not, because a lot of people are here. We can see here some downtrend, and a lot of people are trapped here. I don't know if they are consumed here.
Hold on. Here, this piece. All right, this piece. Who's trapped? If this is the guy who started.
From here?
Yeah.
I think it's here. This is the trap, a good trap, which can go till here.
All right. Now, you have to understand this piece where if this is your last guy who made the move up, at what point do we have sellers coming in, taking out the buys?
There is no taking, no kill of the this guy who started it.
Yeah, it's no kill, right?
No kill, but we have a downtrend here for on a lower time frame. Here, we have a downtrend. Yeah,
on lower time frame, I can see there's actually people selling, but on 60-minute point of view, we do not consider these as an area of concern. It may cause some kind of a bounce if the downtrend is coming in, but it's not gonna do this. If it's gonna do this, the only area it should have done that is here. Because again, not switching any time frame, just based on 60-minute time frame alone, there's no traps here. Here, because this buyer got killed, this is the only release zone we have. for this kind of move. Does that
Okay, and this one is not a level. This one from here. Sorry. No. Okay.
What do you think? What do you think of this level?
Because of the long time it was spent here.
Yeah, I guess you can say that this long time it spent there forming a range could cause some reaction, which made this reaction.
I don't know if it is 1 day.
Yeah, I think it is 24 to at least 28. It could be. But in terms of trap, it's not a trap. It might just be a range, this zone here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes. Thank
So,
you.
yeah, no worries. Just make sure, try not to think ahead of lower time frame about the small traps here. Okay, we stick to our 60-minute and that's where we form our level. Right? The other thing that you guys will find interesting is when you see moves, they generally travel from one release to another release. So stuff like this from this is generally going to stop at a release point. So some higher time frame traders, they do trades like, let's say for whatever reason they took a sell in, their next target would be the next release. So it's not really like the swing low kind of thing where they're targeting recent lows. They are targeting the next release because they know the next release is going to cause reaction, that kind of thing. All right, let's move on
Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, no worries. All right, any other pairs you guys want to take a look at? No? All right. Let's have a look at this one here. Yeah, this one is messy, but it's good practice. William, let's start the read on the sell side from, let's say, from here. And then where do you think a trap has formed from this guy? I think you're on mute.
Okay, from this side, right?
Yep.
Still is coming down. Can I draw in there?
Yeah.
So I see it's coming down this way.
All right.
Then there's a reaction going up.
Yep.
So we have I can't call this. This is not it. We got a break here.
All right.
So I'm not sure if this is a fake out or not, but I think this is the guy that started it.
Yep. I think
So, right?
That looks messy, but let's assume it is a break.
Yeah, so this guy started it until we break. There's no lower low. So we're the first attempt to break this one.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes back and it breaks over this one.
All right.
This guy. So I think that we expect there's the last attempt from the seller. So we can expect reaction from these and take it up.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a very simple one. We have last guy here, attempts. These are your attempts. And then here, you would be looking for a reaction, right? Here, market just gap down when Sunday open, push down, gives you a push. Now, sometimes you see stuff like this where it works partially. Now this is exactly what I'm trying to point out. We know for sure that the guy is killed. We know for sure he had multiple attempts. We know for sure there's gonna be a reaction, which is this piece, right? Now the next thing that you guys will learn is where we get in. That's one. The other thing is we know there's gonna be a reaction, but how far this reaction can sustain, because if we do get in here, it stops here, we may still be trying to hold on for it to make higher highs and then it turns around. On the flip side, it's true also, because if you do get in here, you can get out quickly around here just because there is going to be a reaction. So that's the part we will try to figure out together in the near future. Now, the other thing that also is important for stuff like this is looking at the overall trend, because at the end of the day, we are trading a trend pullback, and this does not look like it's coming from an uptrend just based on this point of view from here to here. Okay, we're pretty much trying to turn the entire thing around, so it could be a little bit more tricky. So let's say, William, if you attempted a buy from here, right? Let's say you made little profit or lose money on this trade. Whatever the case is, this thing turns around. What's your next move on this?
If it turns around, I have to get up, find a way to get up.
All right. What happened to your position of the buys? Let's say if you got in around areas like this.
Say that again.
So you got in on your buys, right? So
yeah.
If this thing goes down like that, what happened to your buy?
My buy initial will be, if I take it from here, I take it to the top right here. Get up. Then if I see that, if I decide to hold it and I see it's coming down, then I'll probably break even or close it.
Okay, let's say if you do not close it, goes all the way back down, you're trapped, right?
Yes.
Right. So now this piece here forms another dynamic downtrend overall. All right. You see a guy got killed, attempts. You will assume there's going to be a reaction. All right. Buys work temporarily. Got taken out. Then you are trapped. We are trapped. All of us who thinks it was a buy is trapped now. So for us to get out, now this is the area where we would use a zone, right? For us to get out, for a buy position, the sell should initiate around anywhere between this zone to nowhere higher than this. Right? So these are the areas where it should try and push down. I know this example is pretty messy and I shouldn't be looking at this, but that's what I'm trying to, point out, that this is what we call, again, I'm going to bring this lesson into the next few, talk about this lesson in the next couple of days. This is initially what we call a refresh, a new set coming in, widening buyers, all right, and then selling from there to make new lower lows alongside overall downtrend. Does that make sense for everyone?
For this is the guy that started it, right? If we go with this,
Yeah. In this case, you could even say maybe him.
okay.
Yeah. So I would look at this like that because he made the push up. So it's all this piece of knowledge is all MPA1 and core basics course, that kind of thing. Where this guy made the breach, he got killed here. I'm expecting a reaction to push down. Whether or not we get an entry, that's something else, but this is where we want to think about ourselves. Yeah? Okay. So same thing happens after that. The sell did not work. What happened after that? We form a range from the 13th to 16th. So at least 24 hours. And when we breach towards the upside, a release will happen from there. Okay. Notice how in the overall downtrend, to make things turn, takes a few tries. He tried here, and then form a huge range, and then tried there. So maybe this thing is coming from a huge uptrend with a huge digestion process. All right. So the release happened from there. Whether or not we get a trade in, that's something else. To continue joining the trade, if we're only going to be using traps and releases, the only area where I see it could be something for us to trade would be I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Because the other thing I wanted to say was, let's say if we're here, okay, this is my release, right? This zone here.
Yeah.
So if we do pullback, is this a release? Yeah, what do you think, Eric?
So you have this range there. I'm trying to process this. I think it's a tricky one. So you have this huge range.
Yep.
And you got bridge. And I think that's one of my questions. I'd say, well, is that pullback to release from there, or we need to wait until it came back? So that's actually the official pullback. So I remember I went through this one-on-one courses from Elite. I remember Navin said at some point you need to wait for this thing to come back as a seller, and then it's going to take to a higher high.
Now, so now, do you understand why Navin says stuff like that? Why we need to join a buy?
Yeah.
Why we need sellers? Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically the refresh. We need to wait for the refresh on our trading time frame. So, and if we want to buy, we want to make sure that there are sellers there, so that we can take the price higher.
Yeah. Again, why do we need the sellers there? If you guys have heard this before from Navin, he always says stuff like, if we want to do a buy, we have to make sure we have sellers coming in.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to try and guess why that is? Jay, Maya, Ion, William? Why do you think that?
The point, sorry.
Go ahead.
The point you put it would not be, I think the price will not come to here because of the FOMO. We have here a big range which was broken with this. This was a test and the launch up. And after that, I think a small pullback would be here because of the FOMO and launch again.
No need to use FOMO or any other stuff first. Before going into which one to actually take, Eric was talking about Naveen saying we need sellers for us to do the buys.
If it comes in two legs, where? So this is the guy with more money, or this one. I think this is the guy with more money. It makes the breaks, then the test and launch again. And in order to get the sellers, we need two sets or two legs. This one and this one.
Yeah, but why?
After that.
But why do we need sellers?
In order to buy, to have from where to buy from. So if we have more sellers, we have sellers in order us to buy from.
Yeah, that's partially correct. Maya, want to go ahead?
Yeah, I think Naveen always teach us to think like sellers, or as if we in a cell, and to buy from them. So they must be sort of also trapped.
Yeah.
And they must panic, you know, when the buyer comes back. So we need to follow that opposite process as a seller to be able to do our timing to buy from.
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. What we are trying to look for. The whole idea of why we need sellers is for us to know that they are trapped at one point for us to take a release. Basically, that's just it.
Right.
So it's, yeah, I get the idea. We need sellers to come in for us to do the buy, but the reason on the chart why that is so important is because if there is no new cells coming in, this piece is going to
be able to get a trap.
Yeah. There's not going to be a trap for us to look for a release.
Right. I see. So in this case, let's go back to this example. So this is the range. I also remember I learned this concept of test. So basically that was the last attempt of the seller, right? So then it got take out, and then for it to be able to make a higher high, we need the price to come back to test that area, basically. So is that the official test, or we are waiting for it to come back as a seller to test that area?
I think, in my opinion, this would be the official test to go. So in this case, in an uptrend, we see sales coming down, right? Again, the idea of we need sellers to form a trap for us to do a release. When we have sales coming down automatically, like Satyavan saying for discount, when we have stuff like this coming down, it's going to give us a discount anyway, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be your release because of a downtrend seller. But here, we do not have a downtrend seller coming down. But what do we have in this case? We have a range, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So
Okay. So now the answer of your question at the beginning, is this coming back? Is this going to be another release? I think that in that case, the answer would be no, right? So because this area is not going to be the release unless we see the seller coming down and then form some sort of trap, then release from there, not really the old area, because it has been used once already.
I would say so, but the concept of the idea of it has been used once and it shouldn't be used again. That sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So if it does come down again, I would be really hesitant to actually try and pick up a buy. If, let's say, the guy who started is still around here. I will only pick up a buy around the same area if, like you said, you have new sales coming in, and then the buys sort of come back up like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is these a release or just a pullback? Because with the range, we have the sellers there, seller, this one got taken out. So, and this is the last reactions, and it's ready to move from here. So was it the pullback from this guy or just the release based on the last attempt?
I'm not clear of your question.
The question is when it breaks out from the range.
Yep.
So these are the last seller's attempt, right? So we expect when it comes back, we expect reaction from the last attempt.
Yep.
So that's why it launched after that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the release.
Yep. So this is the release. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in a pullback, you look for always for at this stage. We are looking for a trap.
We're always looking for a trap. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the entire reason for that is because we need a level, and we need that level to give us some sort of reaction. So before this, I wanted to show you guys where I could try and buy this again. And if we are only using the logic of trap and releases, there's no new trap that's forming after that. See, here, these kind of areas would be, again, this is something in the future we are going to talk about, but it's not really coming from a release or a trap. This here is not really a trap. It's just a pullback to go up, right? Just higher lows kind of thing. So it turns around. The only way for us to do a safer buy would be take out this guy, maybe stall around here, and then resume up like that. At least we have a level to work off. But in this case, because it turned around 100% like that, then we're not sure what kind of market state we are in. Is this whole market from the left going down, going sideways, or just doing all of this kind of thing? Remember yesterday when I was saying if the market is just in a sideways action like that, you see traps here, you see traps here, you see traps in the middle where it could push down, but it doesn't work and could still go down. So, okay, maybe I'm not explaining that nice enough. The whole point is when we have this huge range that should go up, didn't go up, instead 100%, pullback like that, then that's the point where you guys want to take a step back, zoom out a little bit and see what kind of market we are in. If we're all just overall ranging like that, then that's not really something we want to take our attempts on, especially when price are in the middle. Okay. Again, we are trend pullback traders, so there's no trade if there's no trend. All right. Any questions for this one? Team B, you guys are clear?
I have one question.
Yeah.
So within this range that we was talking about, is it like the other examples where even though the breakout wasn't the best, would the sellers not be as confident if it pulls back deeper, or it should generally react off the edge?
The sellers wouldn't be confident if it pulls back.
Yeah, because the breakout in the range wasn't the best. So yeah, would the buyers still be confident if it pulls back really deep?
Like here or here?
Right here. Or should we just expect price to react off the edge?
We would expect price to react off the edge here, and then we're going to be using 5 minutes to look at how we can get in. But if it does go up like that and then immediately come back like that, then chances are the range is still pretty much just holding.
All right.
Yep. Good question. All right, let's have a look at some other examples. Pound USD, let's just stick with this pair. Okay. All right. Ian, when I go ahead and read this piece, let's start with the sellers from here. Read each piece, each guy who started, and see where things turn around from there.
Yes. We have here the guy who started it. Let's change the color. Okay. Clear. Okay. So the guy who started it was here. We have here a leg, a reaction, comes down. We have a trend forming. Okay, it comes up. Sellers try here.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the last guy who started it was taken.
Yes.
We have a reaction from here. This is a trap. Okay.
Yes.
And it comes up, tries, goes up, and here we have some kind of reaction area.
Before going to this piece, you correctly identified the last guy who started. Good.
Yes.
Correctly identified.
I'm looking. Yeah.
The attempts. Yes, that's good. But he got killed. These are the release.
Okay, and here it could be a trade from here.
Yeah.
Until here, the first level.
Yeah. For now, forget about where it could be a trade, but yep, it could react. It could react. Right. What happens after that? Just read this.
React.
Yep.
Yeah. So the last guy who started it is here. Okay, and they started again. Okay, then ranging. Okay, and another guy who started it was here. Then pull back, pull back, pull back. The last guy who started it was not taken, and it launches again till here until this area. If you agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's your last guy here?
Yes, this is the last guy.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have here a probe and a test of this area which was trapped. So this trap was doing this trap.
Wait. Here, who's trapped? Let me zoom in. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right.
Was trapped. So we have here the last guy who started it. This is. Then try, taken. And here it was the last guy who started it. So we have here a level.
Okay. What does a guy who started has to do?
It has to be trapped.
No, just based on definition of guy who started. What defines a guy who started?
He made a higher high. So the guy who started it made a higher high. Also here made a higher high. Okay. Then it was taken, and we have we have a level here.
Now this is the piece where you have to be really precise. This piece here on the 60-minute cannot be wrong, because the guy who started is only valid if he makes higher high. That's one, but it also has to hold.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So don't we have a trap here?
Before going into the trap, just focus on the guy who started. This Is it a guy who started, or is it just a probe and all of this is just still in a range?
It's difficult to answer.
Yeah.
Because, it didn't hold here. So it could not be a guy who started it here.
Yeah, that's right. So again, emphasizing how important the guy who started is, it has to hold, right? If it doesn't hold, it's just a probe. If it's just a probe, based on the assumption that this is the guy who started, if this is the assumption, and there's no trap here.
So it is a trap. It is a trap here or not? Here.
What do you think?
Because of this seller.
No, you wouldn't know there's a cell there, right? If I do it like that, this is, let's say if this is the guy who started.
Yes.
All right. Who's trap?
So it came, make a new higher high. Okay. Probed, came again, still into the guy who started it.
Which guy?
This is the guy.
Yep, still within his territory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tried again.
Yeah.
Then it blasted down, I remember.
Yeah, it blasted down. But the question is there a trap here?
It's not a trap, because the guy who started it, which is considered this one, is not taken on this time frame. On this time frame.
Yeah, that's correct. On this time frame, the guy who started is not taken up. Now, does everyone agree with the fact that there's no trap up here?
Yes.
Still no trap. Yeah.
No trap.
Right. Now, that's all good. There's no trap up there. Now this is the piece where, it gets tricky. If our assumption is this is the last guy who started, there's no trap formed unless he gets killed. All right. So if, let's just say, for sake of argument, if I'm reading it as, okay, he pushed up from here, push back down, push up, push back down. All these wicks are tries and then resolves from there. If I'm reading it like that, then my last guy who started might just be there. All right, that's another assumption I can make. Okay. So this is the part where you guys want to use correlation, volume, all those kind of things together to know if you should trust this or trust this, because this piece is really important. If this piece is incorrect, if we call it a trap like that, we would sell here, right? And then we would be in a huge drawdown. And then after that, we would think, hold on, perhaps this is not a real guy who started. So, all right, let's move along. Okay, let's have two assumptions here. This one guy, this is another guy, right?
Okay.
At this particular stage, right around here, again, we're gonna use future tools, but let's assume if this is the guy who got killed, if this is the valid guy who started, then your release zone might just be around this zone here. All right, and then you would want to think about the cells from there, taking it down towards the recent low. Generally, I take trades just like that to recent low. But some traders, you guys can experiment with this once you guys get more experience and then taking it down to the next release zone. Maybe there's a trap here, that kind of thing. But let's say if we do not get in on this cell, there might just be a cheese type of trade around here. This blue bar here. But I know it's hard to get in. But that's not the point of this video. I'm just trying to show you guys where traps happen and where a release could go. So once again, I just want to highlight how important understanding where the guy who started is, right? The other thing about this particular trap is it follows a higher time frame downtrend. So this makes things a lot more smoother from here to go down using this kind of release as opposed to here. This is what type is this?
Equal B.
Yeah, B, right? As opposed to this release zone. Both are gonna give you a reaction. Which one is gonna be smoother? Which one is gonna give you a bigger push? That's another piece of the equation. But now at least you guys know this piece of pullback can be traded because it follows the same rule, right? If you guys want to think in more systematic kind of wheel, it's the same rule. Where last swing high got taken out, last attempts were around here, release, same story around here. If this is a swing like that, got taken out, this is your release. But this is easier to hold on, at least, compared to this one. Ian, does that make sense? In terms of how you want to make sure the guy who started is correct?
Yes, I should read the guy who started it on the time frame I'm looking at.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a big boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Try not to, jump onto conclusion too quickly, assuming what the lower time frame is doing.
Yeah, so again, this is the trading time frame, or not?
No, this is the 60-minute view. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's pretty much our big boy. This is a trade some of the guys took in the prop. So the ideal release is around here, trying to look for a pullback to try and sell, which is in line with a higher time frame downtrend.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So with the MPA knowledge, piecing it together with the momentum is slowing down. You have digestion going on here. What's this lopsided V formation, pullback? It's all the same thing, but we're looking at it in a more systematic and more precise view, with the understanding of why it should go from here and not here.
So this is a bounce trade.
No, it's sort of like following a trend trade, I guess.
You use the trap, okay, as you said.
Yeah. Okay, questions? Anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
So you are looking always on for a trap as a trampoline.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
As a release point, okay.
Yeah. And then how strong that trampoline is, it all depends, right? This is also a trampoline because it's a release. This is also a trampoline, right, for price to release. But this one at least have a different criteria. No, this is a little bit different because what we are going to be covering in the next few lessons, where it's a trend pullback. Right, here is more counter trend.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Lucas, I have a question. Yeah, just now you mentioned the area is not here, but here, right? So my question is how it's about the details when we are reading. So sometimes my first reaction to read this is sometimes I was trying to look at like the overall picture, for example, or do we need to pay attention in this kind of details as well? I understand the reason why we use this line is because that was the last attempt from the buyer. Therefore, we need to use that price level to bounce off. And then, but then if we look at the bigger picture, if we draw like this, it's kind of like a. So do we need to care about that that little reaction, or we just treat this whole thing as a more kind of like a, if that's the last guy who started, it's more kind of like an A, right? So if it's an A, it should be bouncing from there. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what we are talking about this zone.
Okay, so it's your question is it here or here?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, this piece right here, it's not that difficult because if you look at it slowly, pull back from this guy, goes up, all right?
Yeah.
Pull back, right?
Yeah.
Now, the way you want to think about this is if you're a buyer on the sidelines, right, still on the sidelines waiting to get in, say if you did not get in here because how strong this push is coming down, that kind of thing, then it rejects hard, right? Once it rejects hard, you have confirmation that, okay, I think my buyers are back now. Give me a pullback. I want to buy.
Right.
So these are at least this area invites more buyers because of the confirmation this one gave.
Correct.
And the fact that this one gives more confirmation means there could be more buyers position lying around here. So that's the kind of assumption you want to think about.
Right. Okay.
Yep, but it's not wrong to. Again, we're not on the 5. If let's say you get in on the 5 around here, then you have to at least have an idea that my trade may not work from that level. It could work from this level.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
so I'm looking at, can we call this one a break? Because after this turn around, then this one got taken out. So can we call that place a breach to the upside?
Yeah.
And so this guy that started it. So when this will come fully digested, then we could look for pullback to take the trade.
Which one got fully digested for you to trade?
I mean, this one's the guy that take out this one that breach to the upper side. So probably this is like a pullback and goes up. He couldn't make it and this one got killed.
I don't see your annotations. I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Okay.
Can you draw it out? Yeah.
Okay. After this formation, then this one got taken out from this guy. So when this one goes up, probably pull back for this move up. Since he couldn't make a higher high, these people got trapped. Then this guy killed them. So probably this is the last reactions. You should be expecting it to release back to the sell side.
Yeah. Well, there are a few things here. If you're assuming that this is the guy who started, then there's no trap formed yet. All of this could still be your buyers. So the only way for us to take a trade here is assuming that this is your last guy. And then if that's your last guy, he got killed. Ideally, you want to look at this area here because of what I explained just now, where confirming that buyers are coming in. But it's a zone. This is more of a zone that I'll be watching.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't want to go onto the 5 minute, you just want to stick on one time frame trading it, just hit the cells here. Just hit the cells here, regardless of momentum, regardless of strength, that kind of thing, because all you need to know is there is going to be a reaction from this area here. If your read is correct, your stops can be just here and taking it down to the recent low like that. If we're not going down to the lower time frame, if we're just using one time frame to trade. Yeah, make sense? You guys look extremely quiet. Any questions? All good?
Yes.
Also, can we look at like, when we come from the upper trend, like the downtrend, can we look at this like a rollover? Like
Yeah.
a V formation, that this is probably the range we should be looking at to trade.
Yeah, that's exactly what is happening here. This is exactly like a overall downtrend, a big rollover, digestion, your test to get in around here. Not really trying to get in around this zone here. Preferably, our trade needs to be as close to our 60-minute level as much as we can.
Right. So, yeah, because sometimes I would think because that little range there in the overall picture. So in the overall picture, I mean, probably one time frame up, it looked like this one. It's kind of like a more sort of I'd say B trap. So that's a huge trap over there. So we trade around here. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, this would be sort of like cheese style
Right.
of trade,
Yeah.
like the MPA 2.0 kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, this is where things are all just confirmed that it's just gonna go. So it's more like a
Right.
cheese. It's like the example we had just now where we have a huge range, and then resolve up, retest to go.
Yeah.
And then the question I asked was, if it pulls back, is this a release? It's not a release,
Yeah.
but it's sort of like the cheese style MPA 2.0.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So another question, maybe I'm a little bit jumping a little bit too fast, is that I'm thinking because sometimes personally, I think previously I also took this kind of trade as well, because yeah, let's say if I identify this downtrend is going to resume, and then at that point, sometimes I would say because you'd see even on 1 hour time frame, we can see. Oh, I don't know why my notation is not coming up. I'm sorry. Trying to get my notation. So yeah, so if you look at all of those buyers, they actually come quite aggressive. So sometimes I would wait until the price come back to that range, so that I know that thing is just a probe. So yeah, I would do exactly what you said just now. You said, well, we don't actually enter over there, but yeah, in the trading, sometimes I do enter there because I was kind of like trying to wait for the confirmation, or trying to wait out that aggressive buyer to dial out. Then I end the trade.
Yeah, it's not wrong. If you don't get an entry here, then this is what you have to deal with, I think. But if you do see an entry, which we will get into, then you want to get in as close to this area as possible.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, good question. All right, let's have a look at a few more. Let's see. So this one sort of have the same kind of situation. This one, oh, well, not same situation, a different situation, but the look is a little bit different here, right? This guy make a lower low, goes up. This is a B type, right? Yeah, B type. Goes up, forms range, which is smack bang just one day, I think. And then it goes down. All right, here, this is the part where I was saying it is gonna give us a reaction. We just don't know what type of reaction it's gonna give and how sustainable it is. So this is the reaction, right?
Yeah.
And then usually in the perfect world, the market moves from one release point here to another release area, which is here. In this case, this is just a big range, right? And then from there, continues to move down. So it's going back to this example, say we're looking for the downtrend to resume. From there, buyers are here. Maya, do we have a trap to actually trade off around here?
Yes, we do.
All right, how do you mark out where the trap is from and where you get your kill?
This will be the kill. The last guy that started it, and he got taken out here, and that will be our reaction area.
Okay, so this guy made a high all towards this high, right? So is this a guy who started?
I'll say so, yeah.
Because he didn't really make a new high from there. So this makes a new high, right?
Yes.
If that's the case, we have the same question again. If this is making a new high, is this really a breach? Then we are unsure because now it all seems like this is just a range with a probe, right?
That's right. But yeah, okay, if we concentrate on the volumes and stuff, then it might be a probe, and this would be our sort of protection area. And then we could have taken it from there. But okay, we're not doing that now.
Yeah. No need for volume, but although there's no guy who started, because this is the high and never really make a new high that hold, so there's no new guy. Remember what I mentioned just now? This could just be a range for you to trade a retest.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So
that's kind of how I feel about this move down. 1 second.
Yeah, hold on. Does that make sense, Maya? The fact that this is not a typical uptrend that got killed, but you can still trade it based on the fact that it's a big range, at least long enough.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Jay, sorry to cut you off.
So that's how I kind of feel about this move down, because the sellers didn't really get much of a pullback here. So this could just be a probe. So this isn't really a release to work off of. So I want to know if it's safe to assume that, or
to assume what exactly?
That this isn't really a release. So this is all still one seller.
Ah, okay. So because this piece didn't do stuff like that, it's just
Yeah.
okay. No, I wouldn't ignore that like that. I would still just based on the fact that it did held here, did breach, hold again, just shows that this price has something.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wouldn't really just ignore that.
Perfect. That.
Yep. Great. Yeah, anyone have any question for this one?
Also, this range here. So, do we have some trap buyers in there? So, by the time this one breaks, it could retest back to the last reactions from the buyers.
Yeah. So you would be looking at this huge piece because this piece alone is not enough. So
I mean the old thing, like when it breaks, then the retest is going back to the last reactions from the buyers over here.
yeah, this reaction here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a very quick one, but yeah, that's the idea.
That's so fast.
Yeah, very fast. All right, Team B, any question on this particular setup?
Hey Lucas, yeah, it's Casey.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me get my annotate. So this was our trap, this area, and it reacted here, correct? And then on the other side, we're in a two-sided market. This is our trap to the downside, and then it should react here like it does. Is this, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but is this potentially where you could try for a buy and then potentially even try for a sell, or would you, because it's two-sided, is that risky? I know I'm probably getting ahead of myself though.
This definitely is something we're gonna cover in the future. But for now, you know it's gonna react, right? You know it's gonna react for sure. Whether or not it's gonna do this, we do not know. We know it's gonna make a few pips towards the upside. So the thing you need to be aware of is when you take the buy, this distance, if that distance is enough for you to make money on, is it at least 1 R, 1.5 R? If it's 2, because when you do the buy here, you wouldn't know. We always say we want price to come towards the release zone here, right? But sometimes market just do whatever it wants to do and it could just stop here, right?
Okay.
So in the future, when you are looking at stuff like this, downtrend, pullback, you know sales are beginning to activate, but they're still sort of in a two-sided market. That's correct. It is in a two-sided market because he could still react. This buy here is, you got to be careful. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you got to be careful and understand if there's enough space, you can try and take the buys. Otherwise, just wait for the sell.
And that's what I seem to, this type of two-sided market is what I seem to always find myself in, where you have a push up, and then you have a hold and then a push down, and I'm trying to find out which way to go in that little area.
Yeah. The shortcut would just be to follow the bigger trend.
The flow.
Yeah, got you. All right, thanks.
Yeah. I think we have something similar here, right? Let's just assume that this range looks a little bit nicer, where the highs are just here, okay? If we are going with the idea that this is also a range, this is your guy who started. Now, this is the same scenario you have, Casey. When this thing pushed down, you're also pretty much in a two-sided market because this is a huge range. Someone is definitely trapped inside this zone here, right? So in this case, they did not react perfectly. They squeezed pretty hard. Two-sided market where the buy did come in. Whether or not we get a buy-in safe or not, that's something else, but the buy did came in. It looks really healthy at one point, but then sell still comes in after that. So,
and you think that sell is because the overall flow is more towards the downside?
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So always, okay, yeah, always you want to side with the bigger boy.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to look at things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same issue as well.
Yeah, we will fix that together, but it's not a huge problem. Just make sure there's certain flow involved. Then just stick with that flow. For now, you guys have a pretty idea of where to take a trade based on where the release area is. The next small step to take is knowing which to take. Is it this one here or this one here? Because they both can give you some kind of a reaction.
A question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you look at the flow? You are looking on the moving averages, EMA?
No, I'm just doing this, like zooming out a little bit just to see what trend.
What EMA do you have?
I'm not using the
10-20?
EMA. I'm not using the EMA to look at the flow per se. We're gonna go into that in the future, but for now, just look at the overall trend like that.
Okay, so visually. Okay.
Yeah, just visually.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Okay, let's, anyone have any question? Okay, let's have a look at different ones. All right, this one looks interesting. Okay, now we all have the same kind of scenario this week where everything is just in an uptrend. Well, most things are trending. That's what I'm trying to say. Most things are trending, and then we see some sort of a slowdown, creating traps, right? All of you guys are able to see that if this is the last guy, he looks like he got killed. This could be a release, right? Here or here. Yes, everyone see that? This should be pretty clear now. The next thing we want to look out for is the fact that because we are trying, if we do a sell like that, we are trying to turn a whole uptrend around. So that could be a risk for us to take. But the fact that, this is what we are studying for the past few days. This is the guy who started. This is a kill. This is a release zone for us. But for now, try not trading these kind of release just of yet. If you do trade it, make sure to remember the trade so we can have a look at it again in a couple of weeks. But for now, these are the release zone we are looking at. But this is definitely not the type of A plus kind of release we are taking, because we are trying to turn around a huge uptrend. Right? We'll see reactions like that. But again, same question, how far is this gonna go?
Lucas, I have a question regarding the guy who started it.
Yeah.
If we look at this time frame, so you said it's here.
Oh, it's here, right?
Yeah. So So my question is how detailed we need to go into to look at this to read this kind of chart, right? So my assumption is that when you say it's here, it's more kind of like from bigger picture, I'd say, because like the big swing and then come back to that area, right? So, but then when we trade, if 1 hour is our big boy time frame, so what kind of details we need to we need to pay attention to?
Again, the same thing as how a breach is formed. So, yeah, initially I was saying here just for the bigger point of view, but if you look at the detail, right, the detail is this is the last swing high, never really didn't really cross, so still no new breach yet. The breach only happens when this thing goes up and then holds above. So
that holds there, yeah.
That's why this guy.
So that was right. Okay. So if that's the case, that's basically the last guy who started. So this is the new guy, and then it pushed up. There's no high there, no high. So yeah, that's basically the last high. And then the last attempt was somewhere there. Therefore, that is the zone. Basically, we are looking at the trap somewhere here. Something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Also, another thing is when you see maybe this range is not big enough, but when you see a huge, let's say, if you see a huge range, when we are looking for a release, generally speaking, yes, theoretically, we are looking at this as the last little buyers that got trapped. But if it's a big range, then this area holds importance too. So in this case, what I'm trying to say is if this is big enough or long enough, there might just be a chance where this should
going to react from there as well.
Yeah.
So can we call this area like a trap, because this one got taken out, and the reaction from this, and this guy take this one out as well. Then there's the last reaction area. Can we call this like a trap or with this area?
Calling this as a trap, you mean?
I mean like a release area.
Yeah. The trap the sellers, you mean, right?
Yeah. Because there's a seller here, then we got taken out the reactor from this side, and they got digested as well.
Okay. Now you have to be careful of this. Yes, I understand cells came down from here, this point. Pushed up, cells came down from there, got sort of killed, right? But the fact that this high, you gotta read where this high came from. This high came from this buyer here. So if all of this is just buyers going up, this is not sells. This is just a pullback. Right? The only way for us to have a sell coming in is
you take out the last buyer who started.
Yeah. The only way we have a sell coming in would be like this. As buyer, take out this guy, and then he's a seller, right? Seller.
Yeah.
Right? When this sell fails, okay, then you have a trap. This gotta kill that guy. So in this case, this sell that came down is all this one buyer. Does that make sense, Williams?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Let me see if I have something. Okay, let me just zoom in a little bit here. So okay, for the sake of example, regardless of the time frame, if you're just looking at the charts alone. Yeah, William, well, why don't you try and do this from here on out, where your buyer starts, guy who started, and where it turns into a seller.
So from here, right?
You can start from here.
Okay. So I see the seller coming down. Right from there, they get this one got taken out. Then they pull back. We have a trap. You have a last area from there, and they went out. So there's another bridge right there, and this guy that started.
Yep. All right. Good. This guy who started.
So yeah, there's the first attempt from the seller to break. Then I believe they reacted back.
Yep. So no trap yet, right?
No trap yet. So
Yep.
until it got taken out, then the last reaction area is going to be the release area.
Yeah, you can say that's the case, or you can also say he pushed down, still around the same zone.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Then in this case, in this overall uptrend, your buys died. Right. A trap has formed above because buyers got killed. Right. Then the sell comes in. Right. When this sell came in like that, when this seller got killed, now you get your release.
Release. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And again, back to Maya's question from yesterday, all of these are areas where price can react, right? But you would not expect huge reaction from there because we are overall following the flow. We have transition because of the trap. All these areas should give you some type of reaction from here, but it should try and go.
And then are those areas actually will give us a opportunity to do a cheese trade?
Cheese trade probably would be this area here because
Right. Yeah.
we're not sure if this is a release zone, right? Our release zone would be around here, right? When he got killed.
Right. Yeah.
You just pretend this is the 60-minute and then we're on the 5
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So going back to what Williams you were asking just now, here you see sells coming in, right? Seller guy who started coming in after taking out your buyer,
Right.
right? From the one before, the example from before, here, where is it? Right here.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no cells coming in. All of this seller here, all this red bar hasn't killed any buyers. Buyers are still sitting here.
All right. That's true.
Right. This is not a new guy who started because it's just a probe. It did not hold above the highs, that kind of thing. Yeah, this is really important because if we assume that this is a guy who started, he got killed, we would jump ahead and try to think about the cells around here and here. And we might take a win, but it's not the right trade to take. It's not safe. Yeah. Okay. Questions before we wrap things up. Maya, Jay, Ian, William, Eric.
Yeah, I remained with the idea of that the guy who started it is that one which holds above the brake, and any launch should be from a trap area on a pullback.
Yeah, a release area, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Team B, any questions? No? Okay. So today, the most important thing so far is knowing this piece. Is this the guy who started or this one? Right? This piece, if we get this wrong, we might be trading off a wrong assumption that there's a release, and we might, take a loss on that trade unnecessarily. Right? This is MPA 1.0 stuff. But I understand when I first learned this thing, even though I've learned MPA for a few years, I still got it wrong. So I understand how you guys are looking at trades. So don't worry, we'll get this ironed out together. The other piece that we've learned so far, or we have experienced so far, is if we're in an overall huge 60-minute uptrend, trying to turn things around may be tricky. Okay, how we're gonna get into these kind of trades safely? We're gonna look into those kind of stuff in the future. But for now, take screenshots, take notes of trades like this that you guys see today, and see what happens to it.
Right.
But in
I had attempts on this kind of trade before. Most of the time, I resulted in some sort of loss when I trade against the trend. It's really hard.
Yeah, I understand. But when you have this, this is where it gets easier.
Right.
Still same logic, right? Still using the traps and releases.
Yeah, but this one you are following the trend, so it's easier.
Yeah. So sometimes the simplest concept, makes a huge difference. Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Tomorrow I'll try to, depending on how things are, let's see. I don't want to overpromise anything. Any questions before I wrap things up? You guys have any questions from doing your practices from yesterday?
With the video, do I need like a special software to post the video? Or I don't know how to go about it.
I'll give you the instructions. I'll post what we use in the post later on under the live session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. For today, try going over multiple examples, and what I've seen so far from the few examples from yesterday's practice is you guys are looking at the right traps. That's really, really good. But I want you guys to take things a little bit slower and read what's going on here, what's going on here, here, what's going on here, how traders are thinking, that kind of thing. That's the most important piece. What are they thinking? What are they trying to do? All right, so try to look for at least one example, and then do your analysis, and then try to comment on each other's posts as much as you guys can. I'll try and have a look later today. Sounds good.
Great.
Yes, thank you, Lucas.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow then.
All right. See you.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.
Um,
Bye.
Bye.